So tell us about the navigation, Andrew.
Well, what you've got in front of me is broadly everything that I have to use for navigation, with the exception of monits, which are interval tracking systems, one of which is based off a GPS, one of which is based off the gearbox. But these are my directions. So traditionally, of course, you drive on a map, and this is a map of day 3, Hohhot to Ordos, about 345 kilometers. The red areas are what we call regularity, and you'll see things like here, like TC33. That's a time check, and so we've got to go through that at a set time. This isn't about going fast, it's about going at a regular speed. So what you've got here is the directions that you really run off, and this is called a Tulip Book. It's essentially because the stalk is the direction of travel, and then whether you're going off straight ahead or to the right or to the left is marked by the arrow, the top of the tulip, if you will. This gives detail as to what's happening. These are undulations in the road, or in some cases speed humps or gaps, so I mark those up each time so that I can tell Charlotte that there is a problem about to occur. Now, why that's important is that last time round, some friends of ours, being counted down to a gully, went straight over the gully. The driver just ignored the navigator, and they rolled their car 1.5 times. So having big care signs on the Tulip Book is useful, because it means that I can count Charlotte down all the time as to when there is a problem. Now, this is what we call a section of a regularity, and this is the Sangan River regularity. It's marked in red on my map. Now, what I've got to do here, what Charlotte's got to do, is she's got to drive the section in a set time. In this case, it's 8.76 kilometers at a time of 10 minutes and 58 seconds, but the start of it is 45 kilometers per hour, rising to 50 kilometers an hour. So what you've got to do is you've got to get to the end at that time. Now, down here, you'll see that there is mud, and then there are speed bumps. So notwithstanding it's saying you're going to average 50 kilometers an hour, what you've got to remember is that you're going to probably go a whole heap slower than that when you go over the mud or over the bumps. So actually, you're going to have to do the first half a lot faster so that it gives you time to compensate for the slower bit at the end of the system. Now, how you do that is you have one of these things, which is your average speed card. So let's look at something quite simple. I'm zeroing my trip. That's my monit. I put it to 0, and I know that after 3.5 kilometers I'm going to have to change my speed. Now, if I go down this column at 3.5 kilometers at 45, that says we have to be at that point in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, actually, we'll have to do that in less than 4 minutes and 40 seconds if we had to have any hope of getting to the end of the section in 10 minutes and 58 seconds. So as a navigator, you've got a lot happening. You also have one of these, which is a Garmin. And what the Garmin does is that is our digital map. It has waypoints set into it. You can see those down this section of the book. And those things that mean that we can navigate from waypoint to waypoint. Now, going in and out of cities, we have what's called track. And when we have no roads at all, we're in the desert, we have a route. And in a route, we're literally following a compass bearing to the next waypoint. When you're driving the rally normally on roads, to be honest, you use this just to check that you're vaguely in the right location. And also it helps because it means that if something happens, you're fairly close to a point that you can give people your lat and long so that they can come and find you. So the navigator, I have to say, the driving is the easy job. Charlotte will tell you it's not, because all you have to do is point the car. The navigator is sitting here with time charts, clicking in, looking for signs at the side of the road, bits sometimes where we have to write down symbols to prove that we've been somewhere. So, you know, the art is being a good navigator. Knowing left from right, it helps.